So welcome to our session about natural dyes, using natural dyes to create fun things and along the color wheel with Sherburne County 4-H as a part of our summer 4-H Learn by Doing series. My name is Danielle Ganji and I'm the Extension Educator with Sherburne County 4-H.
And I am Isabella Sexton. I'm also with Sherburne County 4-H as their summer intern this summer. So to start this out, we would like you to say your name and tell us what your favorite color is and if you know what natural things can produce that color if you are trying to dye something using your favorite color substance. And then we want to know if you've ever tie-dyed anything before.
Hi, my name is Grace. One of my favorite colors is purple, and I know that blackberries make purple. And I have tie-dyed things before.
Fun. Awesome. My favorite color is orange. And I'm not really sure what would produce that color. And I'd have to check our cheat sheet that's in the kit. But I almost wonder if like a flower, like a tiger lily or a marigold maybe would make an orangey kind of dye. And I have tie-dyed. It's one of my favorite hobbies. So.
My favorite color is green. I love all shades of green. And I know that either grass or things like spinach or kale can produce the green color. And I have tie-dyed before. Granted, it wasn't until I was done with high school, but I have.
Fun. All right. So Grace, did you happen to have a chance to pick up your kit at the library when you registered?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. So if you haven't used it yet, I'm just going to give a brief overview of what's in the kit and what you can use it for. So in your kit, you're going to find a variety of things and even some things that you can use to get started on natural dyeing right away. The first thing I want to draw your attention to is the lesson or the activity guide. So that'll kind of walk you through a background about natural dyeing, maybe how it's been used historically, why it's great, and then give you some instructions to use to do it. So yeah, if you go in the later pages, that's where you'll get the activity instructions. And then there's also some great resources in here. There's some tie-dye pattern ideas. If you've tie-dyed before, you probably have an idea already of what kinds of things you can do to give different textures and designs with the dye. And then there's a little cheat sheet with the color wheel. And then on the back is a bunch of different things that can produce that color. So if I would have read this, I could have seen that tomato could give an orange color. So, and then in here as well as then some things that you can use to actually do the activity. We do have gloves, so in case you don't want to dye your hands. A little squirt bottle if you want to do more of an intricate design or get the dye in specific areas. Or like I'll kind of share later, if you want to use more than one color, having a squirt bottle is a good thing because then you can get the dye exactly where you want it. There are some tea bags and a variety of them, and then rubber bands, and then either a piece of white fabric or a bandana. So we put bandanas in there because we don't obviously know who is going to get these, so having a t-shirt or something like that just wasn't practical. But you're welcome to use the kit to make whatever you want. If you have fabric or white t-shirt or scrunchie or sweatshirt, you can dye anything that you would like after you kind of get the hang of it. So, and I think there's also some yarn in there. Dyeing wool and yarn is something that's a lot of people that do weaving or make their own yarn do naturally. They might dye the wool. And so that's another thing that you can use your natural dyes with, is to test it out on some yarn and see how that goes.
So now we want to show you a little video that'll give you a little bit more of an explanation about different techniques as far as tie-dye going, which you may have seen before when you've done tie-dyeing.
I don't remember any tie-dye things that I have done, like vertical stripes or any of that, because I was in like kindergarten when I did it.
Okay. I'll actually say that the stripes are my favorite to do because I think they're a little different and unique. So that's my favorite to do.
Mine was always, I think I liked the look of the spiral one, but I could never do it right. And putting the rubber bands on the t-shirt always got wonky and was not as easy
It's
as
tricky.
I wanted it to be. And I would get frustrated if it didn't look right. And a lot of times with that one, I didn't let the color soak through enough, so the color didn't turn out as well. But yeah. It's
definitely an art to perfect, and no two tie-dyes are ever going to look the same, which is part of the fun of it too. Mm-hmm. It's always kind of a surprise when you untie it to see, okay, how's this actually going to look? That's my favorite part, is taking off the rubber bands to see, okay, did this work or what am I going to get? Mm-hmm. All right, now we can get into the activity, which is good timing because my dye baths are ready here. Okay. And
I can go
we are going to do a fun little game. Go ahead, Isabel. You can introduce it.
Okay, so we are going to, Danielle is going to present some dye baths, and I have one that I will present as well. And we want you to try and guess what natural substances created the colors that are in the dye baths. So you'll be able to see through the container or the glass that we're showing you, and we want you to be able to take a guess as to what you think it is. So I don't know, Danielle, do you want me to go first or?
Sure. Let's have you go first.
Okay, so I don't have anything to dip into my dye bath, but I do have the dye bath if you want to just look at it, Grace, and take a guess. Okay, are you ready?
Ready.
All right. I don't know if you can see with the light. That easy. It's not.
That's great. Is that purple or black?
Is it purple or black?
It's like it's pretty much black.
Sumac.
What?
Sumac.
Nope. A good guess though. I'm trying to see
Black
if I can,
tea.
there. Can you see that better that way? I don't know.
Black tea.
That's also a good guess, but
Close.
very close. There. Maybe
Coffee.
Yes, coffee. Good
Ding, ding,
job.
ding.
It's kind of tricky because so many different things can make that color.
Right.
And it's not
All right.
even the glass and showing on the webcam. So job
No.
well done.
One of mine is kind of a darker color too. And yeah, it'll be interesting. I might dip the string in it or something so you can actually see what may be better. All right, but first I'm gonna go with this one.
Flower petals.
Ooh, no, good guess.
Green tea.
Did the drinking give it away? I was about to take a drink, but yes, it's green tea. So kind of like almost like a yellowish. So I'm curious if I put the string in, what will happen? I think I would have to leave it in a while for you to actually see anything, but I think it would look yellow. So kind of cool. All right, next. This is a cool color. I'm excited about this one.
Berry?
No, it's kind of reddish pinkish. Hot. Just came off the stove.
Red flower petals.
No,
What's that? Bloodroot.
no. All right, I'll tell you. This is actually from an avocado. So I put the pit and the peel in the stove with water and just boiled it for probably 20, 30 minutes. And it looks like this cool pink. So I'm excited to try that one. Wonder, ooh, yeah, when I dip the string in, I don't know if you can see, but it's already starting to turn color a little bit. And it'll look like a really natural, like dusty rose pink. So I'm really excited about that one. All right, ready for the third one I have? This is dark, but I don't know if I poured it somewhere else if it would. Oh, or I can dip the string. Oh,
Oh, it looks blue, doesn't it?
Yes, it's blue. Blueberries.
no,
Grapefruit.
no. I did get it at the grocery store though.
Punch.
Yeah, no. One more guess. It's a little more purpley than blue, I'll say. Kind of.
Raspberries.
No, red cabbage. So here, I'll bring it over. So you know what it looks like. Color. But this is what I chopped up. And so I just sliced it up and chopped it up and then boiled it on the stove for, again, about 20 to 30 minutes. I think if I would let it go even more on the stove, it would get even more of a dark purple. But okay, with this, I want to try a little experiment that I saw online. And I'm going to put some of this in here. So I got some in a jar. Ooh. And then a little more. Now, have you ever used like a red cabbage bath to do anything else? Like maybe in science class or anything?
No.
Okay, well, fun fact, red cabbage, like water, like the dye bath, is sometimes used to determine if something is an acid or a base, like in chemistry. And I'm going to show you why. So here's a lime. Now, is a lime an acid or a base?
Acid.
Yes. Very citrus acidic, right? All right. I don't know if you can tell, but I put this juice in and it is turning red. Do you see that?
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of turns red, oh, almost like a fuchsia maroon color in here, right before my eyes. So it's a detector to determine its like chemical properties. Now, baking soda is
Solid.
yes, an acid or a base.
Base.
Correct, it's basic. So I'm going to add that. And then you can see how it's turning even more blue versus purple. So using the same dye bath from one cabbage, I'm able to get 3 different colors. So kind of cool. And then also, just to show you side by side, this one's the avocado versus the lime cabbage mixture. So it's just kind of fun to experiment with and see what colors you can get. And once you have like primary colors, you can make any combination of colors you want. So if you have a yellow and a blue, you can mix it to get a green. So you can kind of come up with your own concoctions and go from there to see what kind of different color combinations you want to do.
For our reflection questions, we would like to know from you what other plants you want to test or natural substances, and how you could use it in the future, and what projects you could make that involve natural dyes. So what other plants do you think you want to test?
Raspberries.
I think that would be a really pretty color.
I think it would be interesting to see how those compare to the ones that Danielle did.
Yeah, like what kind of a different red or pink it is.
Yeah.
I want to try, and I know I've seen it on here, but I know that like dandelion roots can come up with a cool color, and I have plenty of dandelions in my yard. So if I go weeding, maybe I can put them to use and make something cool out of it.
All right. And then Grace, how do you think you can use this information in the future? Like, do you think that you could incorporate it into future art projects, or if you talk to one of your 4-H members that is your friend, you could let them know what you tried and maybe they would want to try it? Or what do you think you want to do with all the information you learned?
Probably put it into the fair.
Ooh, I would love to see that. I hope you do. I know one thing I want to try is my kids' clothes get stained all the time. And so I think I could transform some of their stained clothing into some like cool tie-dye piece instead of it throwing it away, turn it into something new.
Yeah, reuse that. It's a good idea. I know growing up at my county fair in Iowa, so that's where I'm from, Grace. So growing up at my county fair, there were so many tie-dye projects everywhere, and people would incorporate it by doing tie-dye blocks that they then made into a quilt or things like that, and fun things. There's lots of ideas you can do with things like this.
One year for Christmas, I tie-dyed gifts for my entire family, and I did some like tie-dye baby onesies and things like that were super cute.
That's awesome. I guess that question kind of ties into what projects could you make that involve it. You could do, baby onesies, blankets, bed sheets.
pillowcases, socks.
I did tie-dye socks 1 year.
Yeah. And how did that turn out? Did it work?
It
Yeah.
did work. It just felt a little, it was a little rough,
Mm.
like texture.
Oh yeah, because the cotton in the socks or something.
Yeah.
All right.
This is going to be pretty quick tonight because you're the only one with us. If we would have had, you know, others to interact with, we probably would have been able to chat a little bit more about, you know, different ideas and things like that. But I do appreciate you sticking it out with us and, you know, playing along because I just think it's really fun to try new things and not to have to go and buy a dye kit at the store. You can just use what you have around to make cool stuff and save some money instead of buying the artificial dyes. And it's something too that is more sustainable. And so there's a lot of people interested in using natural things to make stuff versus artificial or things with chemicals and things like that. So it's a really cool skill to learn. And I hope that you do exhibit something at the fair so we can see it in a couple weeks here.